to Angels Don't Lie with Jeannie Street. Jeannie is a God-based medium, owner of In Spirit Healing Studio, and new author of the book The Goddess You. Angels Don't Lie will be a show dedicated to healing and love, and we will be taking live questions. If you have a question you would like Jeannie to answer on the show, or if you would like to contact her, send your correspondence to Jeannie@jeanniestreet.com or check out the website jeanniestreet.com. Now here's Jeannie Street.
I let the world on wake up. The trouble is I never went to sleep. I climbed the nightmares in the mountains in my dreams. Oh Lord, won't you get me back with me?
Happy Tuesday and welcome to Angels Don't Lie. It's that time again, Tuesday at 7. So I hope you guys get your questions ready and call in. We had a great response from last week's show. The number is 860-717-0006, and we will try to get to every single caller. So be patient and stay on the line. Tonight we're going to talk about the Goddess You and the Heroine Journey, and what that means for you guys, for everyone, because we are all either on a hero's journey or a heroine's journey. That we have to be the hero of our own life, and so there are different stages and processes that we go through in order to work through the challenges in our life. And all of these steps, there's 12 steps of the hero's journey. They correspond with the principles in the Goddess You. So you can use the principles to work through your challenges, to really open up and discover some unique qualities about yourself that you may have not known, or maybe you have been afraid to let shine through. So this week, Thursday, we're having the book signing at In Spirit. It's going to be at 7 o'clock, and that's in Woodbury, Connecticut. You can check out my website, jeanniestreet.com, for details. Everybody's invited, and we're really excited about this. The girls at In Spirit and I have lots of great things planned. So we hope that you can stop by just even to meet us and check out the studio and see what's going on.
I'll be there.
You're going to be there?
Yes.
I see you over there. I was waiting for Casey to plug in. He had something to say.
Well, I'm looking forward to Thursday.
I think that
it's going to be a great celebration.
A lot of the KBJB staff are going to be there. So it's a great place to kind of come see the faces of the people you listen to on the radio as well.
That's right.
Yeah. Come see the stars. Right? So it'll be a lot of fun. We're looking forward to it. I even have a guy coming to park. He's going to help us, kind of
that's
direct
big
traffic.
Time.
Yeah, well, you remember from the last event, we had to do that because it can get a little tricky in that little parking lot.
Right, and I don't know if you want to be parking out in the grass in the front.
Yeah,
in this weather.
Well, exactly, with all that more, and it's supposed to be warm again, right? It's supposed to be in. Yep. My husband said in 50 tomorrow.
We'll have to get a bus and bring it from, Danbury.
Not doing that. No buses. But you guys can carpool. That would be helpful.
Yeah, carpool, definitely.
Carpool. And it's an open house, so really 7 to 9, you can come in any of those times. That'd be great. So yeah, I'm really excited about this. You're really excited about hearing about this hero's journey, aren't you, Casey?
Oh, yes. I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Yeah, I know. Kathy was talking about this earlier, too, because it's kind of an interesting... have you ever heard of the hero's journey? No,
I haven't, but I'm interested in how it parallels the book.
So it's not a new system, the hero's journey. It's Joseph Campbell who talked about it. He was a great leader. He studied a lot. He was a great teacher. I think he was born in 1908. And so he wrote several books. And he studied the mystics. He studied theology and the human condition of how we go through different phases of our life. The first phase is always the most interesting. It's the calling, the thing that wakes you up, the awakening. And that can come in a lot of different ways. Sometimes we ignore that calling.
I have a 19-year-old. He needs a calling.
Right. Sometimes we don't hear the calling. Sometimes we ignore the calling. The calling comes, it can be a feeling. It can be a knowing. It can be really subtle, or it can be really loud if you've been ignoring it. And that corresponds with the lesson that we're working through. So we'll go through several of these hero journeys within our lifetime, because there's always lessons to learn. And when we haven't learned one lesson, it might get layered into the next path. So the calling comes in, that's the first thing. And the principle that goes with that is the quieting the mind. Because as we're going through understanding what that calling is, we have to be quiet, we have to be still, we have to allow the divine to speak to us. So quieting the mind is the first step. We've talked about that on the show before. And the next stage of the heroine journey is the fear that stops you from saying, well, I can't do that, I won't do that, or I'm not capable, or any kind of fear that is keeping you from moving forward. And so the corresponding goddess principle is self-love, because the more you self-love, that pure tone of love gives you what you need to let go of the fear. It diminishes the fear, so you can stand really, tall and move through this journey without being stopped. And so then the next stage of the heroine journey is the denial that anything needs to change, or that you need to change, or there's not a lesson there, or it's just a denial. And it kind of goes in a little bit with the fear, because that fear, it will always be there. And so the corresponding principle is changing your reactions, because when we learn to change our reactions, we can see that the ego mind will keep us from moving forward. It denies love. So we can change our reactions to say, nope, I'm going to come from a place of love. So therefore the denial gets calmed down and kind of, moves away. And then the next stage of the heroine journey is the subtle shifts that kind of start changing. You start to feel the groove of like, yeah, this feels pretty good. Life is good. And the corresponding principle with that is energy basics, because when we learn about our energy and the things what our thoughts, how they become things, and just the basics of energy, that's when the shifts can really happen. And then the next stage is forgiveness. When we learn to forgive,
that's always a tough one.
Yeah. And so when we work on forgiveness, it goes with healing the block, and the goddess principle, they correspond with that, because when we heal the block, that's forgiveness, because we realize that's the one thing stopping us. Whether it's the self, whether it's the other person, whether it's a situation, whether it's a regret or a grief, but that forgiveness needs to happen so you can move past that. And then the next stage of the heroine's journey is hearing the body. So paying attention to what your body's saying, what's serving it, what's not serving it. And the corresponding principle with that is the chakra basics. So learning what our body is telling us, what energy works with us, balancing and letting go of different things that get stuck in our chakra center. So it works really well with that.
I hear you reference that quite often when we're talking about people's health and things like that.
Well, so if you study energy, it's the one basic, all energy healers, no matter what type of energy they are going to teach or work with you, that we have these energy centers. You can call them chakra centers, you can call them Christ centers, whatever you want to call them, but they are the energy centers in the body, and they hold energy. So they have, muscle has memory. So it will remember a tension, a fear. So say you're really stressed. You can immediately get that tension in your neck that you always get when you're stressed. Well, that's memory. So that means that you need to work on that chakra center that corresponds with that. That would be the throat center. So speaking really clearly, whether you're having a hard time like articulating what your stress is about. So that's where that energy will get trapped. Does that make sense?
Yep, because I have some poor muscle memory for my golf game.
Okay. I don't know if that's quite the same, but yeah. Okay. So yeah, we can go through all these stages, and it's quite fascinating, the journey. So anyways, at the end, the last one, I'll skip ahead, and that's the alignment to truth. That's when we stand in our own truth. And so the corresponding goddess principle is the intuitive gifted you. So when you learn to stand in your truth, in that alignment, well, then you feel great. You don't have to fight anymore. You don't have that notion to to carry the stress anymore. You move past it. So that's the whole path. You've gone on it. You've learned a great lesson, and you stand in that for a while, and then another lesson comes, and you start this journey all over again. So that's why it's a timeless. The Goddess You, the principles are timeless. They, time and time again will help you to get through whatever that challenge is you're going, whatever stage of life you're on.
Well, a lot of the law of attraction stuff I've read, they always reference the journey as much as the prize at the end, or the what you get at the end.
And the end isn't meaning death.
Right. The end of that journey, and then continue on to another journey.
Unless we stop, unless fear overcomes us, and we can't move past it. And those are, we know that happens to all of us. I mean, we've had fear contain us where we feel like we can't do that. We can't move on. Somebody is struggling with divorce. I had some interesting readings this week where it was around that. People couldn't move out of the situation. One was a businesswoman who had in the past experienced a time where she was in alignment and in this bliss state. So she said, but she couldn't get back there. And no matter what she tried, she said, I'm doing everything, but it's not happening. It's almost like she was forcing it, and she wasn't seeing what was in front of her. And that was the fear that she might have to change her business, or things might have to shift. She might have to let go of some old beliefs. And she wasn't willing to look at that. So it's kind of interesting. Yeah,
I see a lot of reference towards shifting. Shifting your perspective or your beliefs.
Yeah. I always say you can, you can change your reaction, but you can't change somebody else's. So you can change somebody else, how they, talk to you, just by changing your reaction. So that has the greatest power, because you can't.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So if you want somebody to treat you differently, then, you kind of have to
react differently to the way they're coming to you.
Yep. You add the love in instead of the I, me ego tone, and you say, okay, well, where's my reaction? Where can it be different? So it's a powerful tool. Yeah. We can all fly off the handle. My husband probably sitting over here. He's joining us tonight, and he's like, yeah. But that's the truth. But where we learn to change our reactions is that's when the magic happens, because then we can say, yeah, you know what? That doesn't look so good.
I agree.
Yep. And then we'll see our bad behavior mirrored back to us if we pay attention. We can see, those relationships come forward. Sometimes we don't want to see it, so we ignore it. And that is the truth. And that was with the other client that I saw this week, the second client that had come in. She doesn't want to see things. She was really blinded to the things that were happening in her life, as if she had no control over them. But she had all the control. She just gave it all away. She just let everything happen to her and was the victim of the life. And that's an interesting place to be in, being the victim.
Well, it seems like you wouldn't do that, but it just flows in and just becomes a habit, a memory, a muscle memory type thing.
Yes, it becomes a habit. Exactly. So it's almost like an addiction. Fear is an addiction. So once it's there, it's really hard to get rid of it unless you know its tones, unless you have that, as I call him, schmigos in the book, unless you have his number, and know that, oh my gosh, that's what he's doing. He's tricking me. He's making me the victim again. Poor me. I wasn't invited. I don't get to do this. My child's not listening. I'm not moving ahead. I'm not making enough money. That's the victim. Right. Whatever that story is, no matter what the tone you say it in, you're still the victim.
Yeah, like with a habit, there's triggers that just trigger that habit to come forth again.
Exactly. So how do you heal that? How do you work through that? Well, that's part of that journey that you're on. It's the awakening to that, to say, yeah, you know what? I noticed that about myself. It's not about slashing yourself down. It's by recognizing it and then moving forward. And along the way, the gifts that come in from spirit that help you to succeed, to get through that, whether they're in books that come to you, or an angelic person that comes with the right message, it all happens in that time frame. And time again, if you study Joseph Campbell, you'll see that he's done a lot of research. He had done a lot of research, because he's passed, on this journey, and everybody's journey really looks the same. And so writers use the hero's journey when they tell their stories. Movies will be in the hero's journey, like Wizard of Oz. Dorothy's on a hero's journey. Star Wars. Luke is on a hero's journey.
There you go.
So everything is, it goes through that cycle, of the calling, the wake up, receiving the help, the doubt, the fear. I can't do it. And then realizing you can, the force is with you. Yeah. So I think we're going to take a short break. And if you get your questions ready, you can either email them over to jeannie@jeanniestreet.com or phone in 860-717-0006. Angels don't lie. Welcome back to Angels Don't Lie. I'm your host, Jeannie Street, here on KBJB Radio. So I believe we have a caller coming in right now.
It's not set up yet.
Oh,
I'm working on it.
I always do that to Casey. So over the break, we were talking about how amazing the music was tonight, because I'm actually going away, and it's all this like beach music that's playing. So there's always a synchronicity that's going on, and I love that. So it's, toes in the sand. It's all getting ready. The angels are lining it all up, even with the music. So I love that. It's so much fun. And I believe our caller is through. Heather from Danbury. Heather, can you hear me?
Hi, Jeannie.
Hi, how are you tonight?
Good, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. Hey, thanks for calling in. Do you have a question tonight?
I do. I was actually just looking for a little guidance. I feel like I'm on the right path and I'm following the signs, but it's always nice to have kind of an affirmation. So I was hoping you might have, just be able to shed some light on that.
So you're looking for a little confirmation from what you already know, and I love this because it's funny because even I do this as well. Like I'll get where I'll have to call a friend and say, I need a little confirmation. Can you help me? Because I'm not trusting myself, and the angels are always saying the answers are within you. The answers are within you, but for some reason we kind of forget that through stress. And I feel like that's what's going on in your life, Heather. I feel like you're really, really stressed. Do you understand that?
I do.
And they're showing me almost like OCD for you. Like patterns. There's patterns of things, patterns of the way you do things. So I don't want to label OCD, but just you have a certain pattern of the way things are supposed to be.
Correct.
Okay. And so that's where there's, if we could just, I've done this too, but if you could just kind of breathe and let go of the patterns, like the hold on them, you'll feel so much better. Like that's the tightness that's all around. Do you understand?
I do. And I'm trying to be better about it, but it's still a struggle.
I know. And do you understand the tightness they're showing? Like a squeeze, the tightness?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, that's definitely how I feel when I'm stressed. So I feel like that is always constant.
Are you having that in your breath too? Like, are you not breathing deep?
Yeah, I would say a little bit, but I feel like that is more like I'm really trying to improve my breath.
Right.
But I get to that point where I feel like I can't take a deep breath, and I don't know if that's just because I'm working on it or...
Yeah, I feel like you almost try too hard. So, it should be more of like a voluntary thing, like just like gentle, soft, rather than a forceful thing. I think that's the missing link for you, as just kind of an easeful, like it's not supposed to be certain, like a pattern, right? It's supposed to be joyous. It's supposed to be loving. It's supposed to be soft. So welcoming that in different places that you are with just a little bit of an awareness. So not like sitting down and forcing it, but maybe you're at the bank and all of a sudden you're like, yes, I'm going to take a nice deep breath and be in alignment. Or I'm going to go to the grocery store and look at me, I'm checking out and I feel really good. I'm going to take a nice deep breath. You understand?
Yes, I do.
Okay. So like, I feel like more fun and less of the organizing.
Okay, that's hard.
I know. Like they're even showing me like your meal plans and like you're lining the week up, like, ease.
Yes, I'm very methodical.
Yes, I can tell. They're showing me like I feel like everything has to be like, no, you know what? You cannot have, plans for a Tuesday night and actually go like to the diner. It's allowed. You can do that. You can go out and have a little fun. I think that will really, get yourself outside of that box.
Okay.
Did you listen to the earlier parts of the Heroine's Journey?
I did.
It's interesting, isn't it?
It is. I thought I was at one point of the journey, and then I'm like, no, maybe I'm at the next part. And then I thought maybe I had taken a few steps back. So
where do you feel like you are?
I feel like I'm moving forward, but when you talked about that fear and that choice, it's like sometimes you get into that denial phase. I feel like I creep into that space a little bit, even though I'm trying not to.
It's funny because that denial phase actually will kind of pop in throughout the journey, because that's the attachment, that's the memory, right? We that'll never stop, and that's how we continue to grow. So through each lesson that your path that you're on, with the lesson that you're working on, that's the challenge always, to have love be there rather than the fear or the denial. So,
right, and I feel that pops in when you feel like you're doing really well, and then you're like, oh, maybe not. Like,
yep, absolutely. That is the journey. So as long as you're aware of it and there's an understanding of it, that's when it can diminish. So I feel like that's just kind of where you are right now. Like, let go, have that love, have that joy, have fun.
Okay.
Yeah. It's all around the joyous family for you. Do you understand?
I do.
Yeah. Yep. And you understand the robin egg?
No.
The robin egg. Is this it could be the color robin egg blue, because they're showing me like nest and robin egg. Do you understand that?
No.
Okay. Could just be things to come, Heather.
Okay.
Okay.
That's okay. I like that. I like when there's a little sneak peek.
Yep. And that's very gentle as well. So robin egg blue is really beautiful. A nest, really beautiful, obviously. So I hope that helps you, Heather.
Definitely. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Hopefully we'll see you Thursday night at the...
Yes, definitely.
Oh, good. Excellent. Thanks for calling in.
Thank you.
Have a great night.
Bye.
Bye. Are we on break?
No. I had left that plane from before because I was trying to set up the call.
Oh, okay. I was like, what's going on? I saw you over there. Were you working on another call, or you were just working?
Well, I have to hang this one up. Kathy says there's a lot of people calling in, so keep trying, and we'll get them through.
Yep, and the number again, in case you aren't sure, is 860-717-0006. And we were talking about the Heroine's Journey, so I'm going to continue with that as Casey's lining up his computer stuff over there. And as we got to listen to Heather, she's like feeling like she was on this journey. I think we left off at number 5, forgiveness. And then, so the next stage in the Heroine's Journey is the release of the victim. And that's the let it go phase. In the Goddess You principle, that'd be let it go. So when you release the role of the victim, you're actually releasing and letting go, so you can move through it. You're looking at me like, what?
No, the victim thing. I definitely, even when you feel like you're in control, I guess you can kind of play the victim, and as part of being in control.
You can do it in a couple ways, right? For sure. You can do it in I have no control, or I have all the control, right? So when we let go and let God, it's very interesting what happens. That higher power, that divine source, when we really relinquish. And surrender is not an easy thing for us to do, because we want to accomplish, we want to get places, we want to do things. Whether you're a mom, whether you're in college, or you're in a high paying job, wherever you are, whatever you're doing. So if you aren't able to not be that victim and let God lead you, you think you're in control. You think everything that you do matters. And it does, but it doesn't. Yeah. So anyways, that's what I have to say on that. So then we would go to, we did hearing the body. That was number 7. And then vibrant living. Vibrant living is when you're really in alignment, and you're healthy, wealthy, and you're wise. So you worked on that goddess principle, healthy, wealthy, wise, and so you realize there's healthy wealth, and there's a way to be healthy in your body through what you're feeding it through whether it's conversations, whether it's food, whether it's books you're reading. So that proper health, and those things are what makes you wise when you listening to the divine and your own intuition. It's not outside source.
Well, one thing I've decided to do, instead of, if I have a few minutes, I would go through the Yahoo News.
Okay.
But that can be very depressing.
Yes, it can.
Unless there's little snippets of football, which I like, but besides that, there's a lot of stuff in between. So now, instead, I'm reading your book.
Oh,
nice. and other things, self-help type stuff, instead of reading the news.
Okay. So you heard the calling. So
right,
you're on
yes.
your own journey.
Yep.
You heard the calling, and now these things are in front of you. And do you recognize where fear has come in at all? Has anything come forward to you, like, don't do that, or you don't have time for that, or?
No, but I do sometimes, because we talk about being alignment and trying to attract a little bit more wealth and move forward in that respect, so you can do other things that you want to do to help the world or whatever. And sometimes I feel a fear there for some reason, probably something that was instilled to me when I was young or whatever, just
Right.
growing up in a small rural town,
Yep.
So
Iowa.
yes. So that I feel that sometimes, but I'm kind of keep getting a little bit better and a little bit better with it.
And so that's how it's like that onion, the layers of the onion. Every time we do a little more work, another layer is peeled off. And so then you get that nice clarity when that does. And that works within the body. So those layers that are peeled off, the less of the memory that stays within you. And it gets easeful. Yeah. And that's the lovely part. So once you get through vibrant living, that's the 8th stage of the heroine's journey, you're going to enter bliss. And that's the bliss part is when you can keep calm through the crazy. So no matter what's going on, you find a way to keep calm. And that's an interesting thing, because when life shoots you all these different challenges, all of a sudden things are good, and all of a sudden then there's an illness or there's a death, but you still find a way to keep your balance because you've had all these great tools. You've had these stages to go through and the principles to help you balance them. So that's a really cool thing. And so then number 10 is the challenge. All of a sudden there's a challenge that comes forward. And this is where Heather's at, that called in, because she has a challenge. She's challenged by, what's the next thing? She feels like she's done all these things and she's lost her balance. And so in the principles, it corresponds with help, I've lost my balance. And it's just reminding you of the tools, of the things that you have accessible to, that you have, I'm not even saying that the right way, that you have easy access to, which are self-love. Oh, we have another caller?
We have a caller.
Okay.
Jamie, are you there?
I'm here.
Hi, Jamie. I'm Jeannie. How are you tonight?
Actually, I've been better.
Okay. Where are you calling from, Jamie?
Just current moment, or just where do I live? Hello?
Yes, I'm so sorry. Where are you calling from?
I'm actually calling from a Stop and Shop parking lot.
Okay. Well,
Very random spot, I know.
that's beautiful. How can I help you tonight, Jamie?
I actually sent you an email earlier in the week. I've been feeling very negative and trying to stay positive despite just current events.
So
Especially today, which is why I called, because I wasn't going to. And then I clicked on the thing and heard you say something about the victim, and that's why I'm still sitting in Stop and Shop parking lot.
Jamie, I'm going to refresh. Are you the email that I got, and you have a rare health issue?
Yes, I do.
Okay,
I have both Graves' disease and Hashimoto,
Okay.
and they cycle every few weeks.
Okay.
So.
Okay. So you've had some big challenges with that as well, correct?
Yes.
Yes. So not just one thing, but a lot of things have happened, and then people weren't believing you. That's the kind of tone I was getting from the email.
Well, the doctors kept telling me it didn't exist. That it was impossible for you to have both disorders and have both antibodies.
Okay.
And I've done research. I said it is rare, but there are cases. They're right here. And they refused. They kept telling me that it could not possibly be. And it was easy as writing one thing on a lap slip, but nobody did it because they wouldn't believe that were true.
So now are you being treated for these?
It took me a year
Okay.
just to prove that I actually do have that, and there is no treatment. They're not really sure what, even the case studies, they're not sure how to correct it, other than give you all the medication you might possibly need and you to figure out what you need when you need it.
Right. So they're showing me right away that your immune is really down, and because your immune is down, you're very weakened. Do you understand?
Yep.
And so when that happens, when our immune is really down, we can pick up autoimmune diseases. And they
think I have several, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not, and so I'm sorry, you said Graves and Hashimoto's?
Yeah, those are both autoimmune.
Yes, exactly.
And I think because it's gone so far, now they're thinking I definitely have lupus. I probably has it affected my ovaries. That my body has just pretty much gone to war with itself.
Right.
Because it's fighting these invaders, and I'm not taking care of that. So it just has built up an army.
So I want to calm you down, and I want to tell you that I don't know where you live, if you're in Connecticut or if you're...
I am in Connecticut, yes.
Okay. So there is a doctor that I'm going to send you an email I'm going to recommend to you. And she does not take insurance, but what she's going to do for you is going to be quite amazing, because you need an allergy test. They're showing me right away that you have very large food allergies. And when we don't pay attention to the things that we're allergic to, and you've also had this in relationships, things that were really almost the same as a food allergy causing havoc in your life. So they were sending you off your balance. And so you had these things in your life for a very long time. And that's what's sending one autoimmune to the other, to the other, to the other. And you're like in this heightened, like open histamine kind of effect. Do you understand? Are you getting rashes too?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I feel like.
No, but my the whole vascular system has been off.
Yeah. Like
I haven't gotten any rashes, but.
Yeah. Everything feels kind of off. So for me, if you were coming to me and you were my client, I would immediately tell you no dairy, no egg, and no gluten, and that you have to get sugar out of it.
I try so hard. I really do.
Right.
It's very difficult not to eat those things. And I've never been tested, but I know that those are the three. Right.
So, and I'll tell you, there's a line in the sand that I have, and I'll tell my clients, this is what Spirit will say to me. You have no choice. Like you're that ill. So you can't cheat. You're that ill that you don't have the leeway to say, I'm just going to have a McDonald's today, because your body's already breaking down. So if that's your choice to get healthy again, then that's your choice, and that's what you're going to have to do. I'm going to recommend a book.
Ironically, me and my two sons, actually, the last 2 days, everything on our plate has been healthy. And I feed them pretty good, but the last 2 nights, every single thing has been healthy. They couldn't pick one thing that wasn't healthy.
Right.
And we all loved it. So I'm making changes, but
so there's an author I'm going to recommend.
I cheated and went and bought a muffin today. So.
Okay. Yeah, and like you can't afford to do that because it's going to send you. And so like somebody regular that maybe has a sensitivity or is just staying away from sugar, they're going to crash and they're just going to feel kind of low. But you're going to get another autoimmune. You're that weak. Like your immune is really tapped out. So that's what you can't afford. And
I have a lot of guilt about that because I think I just let things go for so long. Not even just my health,
right?
But just stress and all these things. I just let it build up, and then I've been sitting here in the parking lot feeling sorry for myself.
So there's an author.
Myself that I'm not a victim. That I need to do better.
I'm going to recommend Chris Carr's book, and it's KRISCARR, and it's Crazy Sexy Diet, and it's a fabulous. Okay. It's called Crazy Sexy Diet. And it'll teach you exactly the way you need to eat to reverse. And they're showing me you can reverse all this. But you also have to work on not only the diet, you have to work on the things in your life that are toxic. And that's
I have trouble with that.
I know.
And
I know. So
it's like, again, it feels like I smoke cigarettes. I still smoke cigarettes. It's stupid. Everybody who even looks at me is like, how can you still smoke cigarettes? And I know it's horrible. And I'll go I went a whole week. Last week I went a whole week without one, and then I break down and have a cigarette.
Right. Well, and it's not serving you, so it's only hurting you. And
I know that.
And it's funny, when we are so weak, we want somebody to come in and we want them to like help us or save us, right? And we can't save ourselves. We feel completely distraught. So I'm telling you, throw those away. I'm helping you. Throw the cigarettes away and do not bring them back in your house. Okay?
Okay.
I want you to do that.
Actually, I came to Stop and Shop for cigarettes, and then I haven't bought them. I've been sitting in the car. So
I want you to promise me that you're going to just no more.
Okay.
And then we'll take it the next step, and we'll get you getting off of those things, the gluten, the dairy, and the eggs. And then we'll work on the sugar. And then we're going to work on bringing some supplements into your life that are going to help you, like seaweeds and spirulina, some really things that are going to serve your thyroid, because your thyroid is tacked out. The autoimmune is...
I have all these things. I've actually did a lot of research on nutrition and supplements. And then I purchased these things like a year ago. And then I was seeing a natural doctor who just put me on all this stuff without checking. And that's how I actually became toxic. So now I'm so afraid to take anything.
Right, because
I'm afraid that anything I take is going to I have so much calcium in my system that I built up deposits in my bones. So I everything is just sitting there. I try to eat better, but
right. So we talk about being in an alkaline state or being in an acidic state, because not only our life but our guts it's really important for our overall well-being, right? For our guts to be in a healthy alkaline state. So medications are obviously acidic. Bad relationships are obviously acidic. The foods I told you to take out of your diet, those are acidic. So alkaline foods are going to calm that down. Alkaline attitude, meaning no drama, meaning being calm, quiet. I know. But when you remove yourself and speak less, when you remove yourself and pray more from the situations, when you journal instead of having big long conversations, and you get to the heart of the issue rather than all around it. So it's all within. It's all within, my friend.
And that's one thing I haven't done. Like, I know I study a lot about, health and nutrition, and I'm a writer. And part of, I just love fictional, right? I had my children and all these tragedies happened, and I stopped doing that. I disconnected completely from that part of myself.
Right. And now it's time to reclaim it. Now it's time to go on your heroine journey and get it back. So this is your calling. You've had the calling. You know it. And that's
scary enough for me. Some of it's scary, but
exactly. So we talked about the early stages of the heroine journey, right? The calling. So that's where you are. And then the next stage is the fear. So what conquers the fear? Self-love. That's what conquers it. So when you love yourself enough, when you see yourself in God's eyes, when you love yourself that much, that's when you can make the difference. That's when the fear diminishes. That's your next phase. You have to
I'm trying to get there. I do blame myself a lot for things that aren't my fault, or things that were out of my control. And I take on other people's negativity, or even today, all day I said I'm nothing negative, and then something super negative happens, and I'm just going to run away. I'm not going to deal with it. But I found a different way to approach the situation. I don't have to fix people, and it was pretty tragic. It was unexpected, but I decided I don't have to fix people.
Right.
I could just tell them that I love you, and this is this, and I don't have to. It doesn't have to go beyond that.
Right. Because the more
somebody in my life is very toxic, and I wrote her off a long time ago because I'm not going to do any. I know I can't help her. I know she's on a journey herself, and I know where she's headed, so I can't participate in that. But then the last couple of days, my friends, we've been talking actually more and more about her. She's been coming up, which she hadn't before, and then I found out she's in the hospital today, and she's not doing well at all.
Mm.
So my first thing was to run away because she's been dead to me all this time. So, and you know what? That's not the best way to approach it either. I realize I don't have to jump in her chaos with her, but I can go there and tell her I love her and I miss her and And it doesn't have to be more than that. It doesn't have to be this thing where I get wrapped up in her stuff.
That's right.
So part of that is just accepting my role in other people's lives as well, which
Right.
is sometimes difficult for me.
Yep, and that's the changing your reaction part, and that, you know, where you can be different, where you can not talk, where you can just be, see where your energy is needed and see where it's not, because when you keep giving out, you won't be able to heal your body. And you know, that's the big thing. Let's heal it. Let's do it. Let's take care of you. Let's let everything kind of
I've been
calm
trying
down.
so hard. It's been a long journey.
I know. Well, Jamie, thank you so much for calling in. I really, I hope this helped.
It did. Thank you.
All right, and I will talk to you. I'm going to send you another email.
Okay.
All right, take care.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
Ooh. So, yeah, very interesting.
Our theme.
Yeah,
There's a big journey right there.
exactly. And it's interesting to see, to hear how fear is holding her, right? It's really because life is so difficult, she can't seem to get past it. So I'd like to ask everybody who's listening in to send a prayer to Jamie to help her, that she can find her way and feel the love. And I think we're going to take a short break now, and we'll be back on Angels Don't Lie in just a minute. Welcome back to Angels Don't Lie. I'm your host, Jeannie Street. And tonight we're talking about the goddess Heroine Journey. And I wanted to just read a little blog post that I'm going to send out, just the end of it, because I think it really resonates with what we were just talking about with Jamie. And it says, the path that you're on will either lead you to the same perpetual outcome or to a new state of enlightened being. The choices you make, the lessons you choose to learn, and the fears you conquer along the journey are what heal or restrain you. So your permission is needed, your intent to change. Anything is possible if we believe in it. So that is part of the hero's journey. It's part of our life. You know, we must believe in higher power, in love, that it can conquer the fear. The fear contains you and will keep you in the same perpetual state, almost like a Groundhog Day. And I think we've all can resonate with that. We all can say there was a time in our life, whether in the past or whether right now, that we seem like everything is the same. Nothing seems to be getting better. And that's where you are. That's where you are stuck. And that is the victim role. So what can you do? What are the tools to get out of that victim role? Well, it's number one, you must self-love. You have to care for yourself enough that you're going to put everything else aside and take care of you. You have to quiet your mind. You have to change your reactions. That means getting out of drama and really taking care of your personal inventory of your home, of your children, and lessening all the chaotic noise that's around you. You can heal your body. We have great leaders and teachers that have taught us these things. Louise Hay, many other authors that have come forward and helped us to move through and see that we can heal our bodies. Absolutely. The medical medium, he's a great resource for tools, and his book is amazing. I can't even think of his first name right now. I'm so sorry. But the medical medium, he's very interesting and a great tools to help you move through your life in a different way, all around food, all around, the energy of what's serving us and what's not. So towards the end of the heroine journey, we left off on the challenge. And then number 11 would be the soul's truth. And this is when the soul starts speaking to you. This is when you start to become in alignment. And that's the goddess principle is mind, body, spirit. So you're working really in alignment. You're understanding what your mind needs, what your body needs, and what your soul needs. So you're really in that juicy goddess alignment. And then it's going to be the alignment to truth. That's the number 12. That's the final step of the path of learning. And that is when you're in alignment with your intuitive, gifted self. So you know your gifts. You have a clear knowledge of where your talents are and how to use them to help others to move through the challenges they have. And it prepares you for your next journey, your next lesson to learn. So you can be in that perpetual loving state as long as you choose to be. So interesting that the reading I shared earlier with the woman who had been on that path and lost her way, and she can have it again. She's just not seeing it. Fear is containing her. She's not willing to see it yet. It's just hidden. So she can get to it when she gets past the denial. That's just where she is in her phase.
Sees the signs.
Exactly. And sometimes it's good when another can point it out. And that's why people will come for readings, or people will seek out help in other ways. And sometimes it has to come within. It has to resonate. I can say it, but if that person isn't ready for it, it's not going to do much. So that's why, like I always say, I don't do predictions, because we have free will. The soul can choose, right? I could say, Jamie, throw away the cigarettes like I did, but that doesn't mean she's going to do them. Doesn't mean that she's going to stop smoking. Spirit says it's not good for her. It's lowering her vibration, but it's her choice. She has to want that. She wants to make that difference.
That's one of the bigger habits, the very hard habit to break.
It is, along with
chemical
fear.
addiction there also with the cigarettes.
Yes. Yeah, because it's all, once we have one addiction, we can have another. And same with autoimmune disease. Once we get one, we are more susceptible to getting more and more. So autoimmune tells you a lot about your body, that you have to get it in alignment, that you have to really pay attention and know what you're putting in your body, so you can have your immune be raised and be healthy. It's really important stuff, for sure. So yeah. Anyway, so I feel like we're running out of time, but what time are we? I would like
it is right at 8 o'clock.
Right at 8 o'clock. Geez. So
if you got something left, let it go.
I got something left. One more thing. All right. So Thursday night, 7 p.m. in Spirit Healing Studio in Woodbury. Be there or be square. We're going to do a book signing. It's open house. We're going to have some food, and it's going to be a whole heck of a lot of fun. So I hope to see you there. And, drop us your questions. If you have something to say, send us an email, jeannie@jeanniestreet.com. And check out the website. Casey just put it up, angelsdon'tlie.com. It's up there. Thank you for listening. And remember, I know what I know, because angels don't lie. Have a great week.